a fascinating insight into very different countries and regions, each trying to navigate through their own dynamics and changes, but all with a common interest in creating a more robust but democratic and effective global system that isn't stuck in the power structures of the past, one that is forward-looking and innovative. Now, for years, if not decades, there have been calls for United Nations reform. But the big question is, and has been for a long time, can the one organization that purports to represent us all live up to that ideal? Can it ever break free from the shackles of the past, its structures, but also its mechanisms that were designed to represent the world as it was back in 1945, not as it is today in 2024? In a nutshell, is the United Nations beyond repair, to put it bluntly, or can it still change as it inches closer to 80? Can we reinvent the UN, or must we continue to accept it with all of its flaws and inequalities? It is my distinct pleasure now to welcome to the stage once more His Excellency Philémon Young, President of the 79th United Nations General Assembly, to deliver his final remarks at this Doha Forum and perhaps give us a glimpse into his vision of a re-energized, more equitable global system and United Nations.
Good afternoon. I have on different occasions talked about the reforms at the UN, and the reforms concern the UN Security Council. They also concern the General Assembly. They concern the whole system, but I think we will have another opportunity to deal with that. But I am here to say a few words at the closing of this forum. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate the government of the state of Qatar for another successful session of the Doha Forum. Many times I've heard about this forum. I have seen it once, and a wise person has said that instead of hearing about an event 1,000 times, it is good to see it once. It is more realistic. So I've had an opportunity to see what happens at this forum. Your presence and commitment to the issues being discussed have helped cement the Doha Forum's position as a preeminent space for dialogue, diplomacy, and knowledge sharing. And we've seen a lot of knowledge sharing here. It is a space all the more important in light of the geopolitical tensions, conflict, growing inequalities, and erosion of trust in the multilateral system. It is also a space that will be of immense value as we chart a path ahead, guided by the Pact for the Future, which we adopted recently at the UN. Excellencies, as we close the Doha Forum, I am encouraged by what I have seen and heard here. While we are confronted daily by catastrophic and existential threats, the will and desire to affect positive change remains vibrant. And it has been seen here every time people have discussed. I saw this myself in New York in September when member states adopted the Pact for the Future. Despite our many differences, we fundamentally agree that we simply cannot go it alone. We need each other all the time in order to succeed. That's what the Pact for the Future signifies, and it shows us the way forward. Indeed, international cooperation remains the only path to addressing coming challenges, promoting peace, protecting human rights, and ensuring sustainable and equitable social development for everyone, everywhere. Going forward, it is imperative that we honor our commitment to international cooperation rooted in the respect for international law, with trust and solidarity as the fundamental bedrock upon which our efforts must be built. Excellencies, we sincerely thank the government and people of the State of Qatar for their generosity and welcoming spirit. And let me commend their efforts, not only in convening this forum, but in the unwavering efforts to bring hope and opportunity to this region and the wider international community. Let us not forget, it was Qatar that requested the opening of the General Assembly's 10th Emergency Special Session in 1997, pursuant to the Uniting for Peace Resolution of 1950. And it is Qatar since October 2023 that has played a profound yet delicate role in negotiations to bring about peace in Gaza. I commend Qatar on its long track record of diplomacy, dialogue, and diversity, and thank His Highness the Emir Al-Thani once again for convening this important forum. I thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, President of the General Assembly, President Young, for delivering these remarks. We will leave the more thorny issues of UN reform for another day, as you say. It is now my distinct honor to invite to the stage our final speaker, the host of this forum, to formally close the 2024 Doha Forum. Please welcome Dr. Mohammed bin Abdulaziz Al-Khulaifi, Minister of State at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the State of Qatar.
Good afternoon, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to address you as we conclude the 2024 Doha Forum. And I will not miss to thank His Excellency, the President of the United Nations General Assembly, for his fruitful speech and kind words. Over the past days, we explored the innovation imperative with shared conviction. Innovation is essential for resolving the pressing challenges of our time. This forum has reaffirmed its role as a platform for a bold thinking and a collective actions, reminding us that the future belongs to those who dare to think differently. Innovation is not just about technology. It is a mindset. It requires creativity, adaptability, and courage to challenge the status quo. From diplomacy to development, from the conflict resolution to humanitarian efforts, innovation must guide our approach to build a stable world. This year's forum has demonstrated how fresh perspectives and collaboration can transform even the most complex. An effective mediation requires wisdom to find a common ground. Qatar's experience has shown us that every conflict holds a potential possibility for resolution. Dear guests, mediation comes from our traditional roots and principles of justice and fairness, which have been the foundation for Qatar's foreign policies for many years. This based on Article 7 of Qatar's Constitution that integrates conflict resolution and peace-building efforts, which considered as the core foundation for Qatar's foreign strategy. Mediation transforms conflict into opportunities by turning barriers into bridges and discord into dialogue. It is the foundation for a sustainable peace. Ladies and gentlemen, this forum has reminded us that the real progress comes from turning ideas into actions and responding to immediate crisis while building for a long-lasting peace. And last but not least, we extend our deepest respect for the esteemed journalists honored yesterday by His Highness, the Emir, and others whose unwavering commitments to truth and fearless storytelling continues to inspire all of us and uphold the highest commitments to journalism. I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Al-Khulaifi, and thank you to our hosts, the State of Qatar, and to the Doha Forum for once again hosting us here and bringing us all together in the spirit of dialogue, diplomacy, and diversity. Please mark your calendars for next year's forum, which will be December 6th and 7th. We now leave you until we meet again in the near future, hopefully next year, with this look back at some of the highlights of this forum. We are having, as you can see, some hopefully minor technological issues. So much for living in the era of AI and intelligence, artificial intelligence and the rest of it. But we will get it fixed, I hope. But in the meantime, can I say once more how much of a pleasure it has been to see you all here. And thank you for coming from near and far. I am told we are ready. Here we go.